Hi there, welcome to a needlessly long showcase video of a gshade reshade preset that I made for Final Fantasy XIV. My main drive for the shaders used and all of the settings is essentially I just really wanted to feel more immersed when I started playing. I do completely understand, like, in terms of the MSQ and all of the quests in A Realm Reborn, like, I get it. It's all a bit tedious, it's all a bit, I don't know, too plain. So I really wanted to kind of be like, okay, what can I do to feel more immersed into this world? And well, one thing was definitely making it more pretty to look at. And kind of from there, with like the cinematic feel, following along the story and all of the monotonous and kind of boring aspects of the MSQ, I don't know, it became very much an experience of just experiencing it. You know, like, just pretending like you're a bigger part of this entire thing, and just essentially role-playing as much as you can. I also even haven't finished the quest yet, or the main quest, I would say. So I'm not even aware of the other zones, how they look, and how this preset might even affect those zones or biomes or whatever. But yeah, when I get there, I'll probably either make adjustments to this or maybe create a full-on shader pack, or not a shader pack, a preset pack. So here's a basic rundown of what you need to do. Just two presets, they're basically the same. The second one just has depth of field enabled. Put it all into the folders as they're mentioned here. I also included all of the shaders used, so you can just drop those into the folders, again as shown. Obviously, when you start up the game, you can fire up the menu for reshade or gshade. Just check if all the folders are in place, and you should be good to go. So like I mentioned, as soon as I come in, I kind of wanted to feel as immersed as possible. Made a lot of UI changes and adjustments so that it's all sort of minimal, but yet still everything there, but at the same time that I can easily hide everything or hide certain bits. That was kind of the goal. And even just walking around and exploring to make it feel as immersive as possible. Or just kicking back and letting the walk animation do its thing and just enjoy the sights. Or, you know, just doing random killing or whatever silly task or quest there is. But then you see a view, easily hide the UI, and maybe even turn around to find an even better view. And these have essentially been kind of my rewards for all of these monotonous things, and that's essentially just exploring the world. I really hate for the FOV that it's hidden behind group O's, because you can't move and have larger or smaller FOV. But yeah, I'll take it. It's good that you can hide certain bits, even control the FOV in any way. So yeah, I'll take it, but I'm sure it definitely could be improved. And yeah, this is how you get upvotes on Reddit, essentially. So even, like I said, the most boring of quests can essentially become just a little bit more magical. Okay, so I don't know if you're aware of this, but within NVIDIA's DSR settings, essentially you can upscale to even 4K. So I only have a 1080p monitor, and obviously on the left you can see how 1080p looks versus 4K on the right. And essentially you can upscale to 4K, which is good, because it affects the render resolution of all things shown. The UI is probably gonna get fucked up, but that's fine. You can also upscale the UI, but at this point we just need an image without the HUD, so here we have like 30 plus FPS. But boy oh boy, does it look good. Okay, so let's talk performance. Essentially, it's very varied. So in these condensed zones, when there's a lot of things happening, like the FPS is the same. But when I'm even like exclusive full screen, which is going to be the next part, so it's exclusive full screen. This is for some reason locked to 140 FPS. It can go much higher than that, but in these open zones, sometimes, I guess depending on the number of objects or NPCs or enemies or whatever, if you have ssao or any type of shadows and stuff like that, I'm guessing that really tanks the FPS. But yeah, as shown, these are all my current settings. I mean, this is a mid-old PC, so like I'm happy that I'm getting even these frames at all on kind of high to maximum, so that's good. And yeah, this is with the depth of field on. I would also recommend, obviously, to have a separate keybind under settings for switching the presets. So here, let's go through some of these shaders and essentially what they kind of do. So in no particular kind of order, I probably start with like shadows, midtones, and highlights to kind of set a baseline for everything, but essentially from that baseline, all of the other steps, they could be totally random. Like you don't necessarily have to have like an order of how you want to add new things, but the only most important thing is to never just go overboard on one setting if you're trying to make an optimized preset that works in daytime, nighttime, you know, like when it's misty, when it's sunny, when it's raining, when it's blah blah blah. So always try to kind of minimize those different steps and differences for each shader and its own settings, because you can obviously go wild with everything, but still trying to be as conscious of making it as performance friendly as possible, because like you don't want to lose more than 50% of your FPS on just pretty colors, right? So I guess the main kind of culprits for the low FPS would be the bloom effects and the ssao, essentially. So if you want to kind of keep the coloring that it's presented here and still want to and I have a smoother experience, yeah, which is just essentially just disabling all of the bloom effects and the ssao shader. It's all very subtle, like you totally could just play the game without that. Adapt to sharpen usually loses, I think, like 3 to 5 FPS. But yeah, sadly, it's these subtle changes that make the complete package, right? So usually what I try to do is merge the kind of out of focus sharp image or to kind of mimic the lenses of old and how analog photography kind of worked before. But yeah, this is perhaps my true end game for this game, so snap away and enjoy.